Welcome to the Roy Morgan Weekly Update. The first week of this official election campaign saw the opposition leader Anthony Albanese make a large gaffe on the first day of the campaign, unable to remember Australia's official interest rate or the ABS unemployment. This gaffe clearly hurt Albanese and the ALP. We also saw the Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, rescind a promise of a federal corruption commission, albeit blaming the ALP for not supporting the government legislation on the issue. We also saw the Greens separate themselves from the other major parties by focusing on climate and the environment, not surprisingly, but also by talking about taxing large corporations and overseas companies. So in the first week of the official federal election campaign, the LNP gained support and the Greens gained support, and others lost support. Primary support for the LNP increased 3 points to 35.5%, and support for the ALP was down 1 point to 35%. Greens were at 14%, up 1.5%, and in total, all of the other parties and independents, including the Greens, were down 2 points to 29.5%. So this is the first time in 6 months we've actually seen the LNP ahead on a primary vote. This translates to a two-party preferred vote of ALP 55%, down 2%, and LNP 45%, up 2%. So this is the closest that the two parties have been in the last 6 months, and if an election had been held now and people had voted the way they said they were going to vote, the ALP would have won easily. Now, if we look at the longer-term trend, we see the swing to the LNP in the first week of this campaign mirrors swings we've seen before in previous election campaigns. For instance, in 2019, during the course of the election campaign, the LNP gained 4% on a two-party preferred basis and, of course, won. Now, the LNP are still further behind than they were in 2019, but if the LNP can continue to gain in the next few weeks, we could well be looking at a hung parliament. As we've said before, because of the margins in various close seats, the ALP needs to win with at least a 53.5% of the two-party preferred vote to guarantee a majority in the House of Representatives. We're also seeing the key weekly indicators improving slightly. Consumer confidence and government confidence are still well below neutral. They're both well below that 100, but they both improved again in the last week. So government confidence at 86 points is up 2 points in a week, and the ANZ Roy Morgan consumer confidence at 96.8 is up 2.2 points in a week. We're still keeping an eye on petrol prices, and what we see is that petrol prices now are down 46 cents over the last few weeks from that high of $2.12. So that's looking a lot better, and it's also reflected in consumer confidence, as we said, being at 96.8, the highest since early March. And inflation expectations, that's what people expect inflation is going to be over the next couple of years, are down 0.5%, down to 5.3%. So that's down 1.1 in the last 3 weeks. So albeit high, it's a number that's actually coming down. We also look closely at unemployment, and the Roy Morgan unemployment estimate is now at 7.8% in March. That's the lowest since October 2019, before the pandemic. However, Roy Morgan's unemployment measure is still about twice as high as the ABS that puts unemployment at 4%. Roy Morgan shows there are well over 1 million unemployed Australians, that's 7.8% of the workforce, and well over 1 million, 1.22 in fact million, underemployed, people looking for more work than they already have. So that's a total of almost 2.4 million Australians who are either unemployed or looking for more work. And this real unemployment and real underemployment is a big sleeper issue for the election, as this 2.36 million people will be wanting to know which party will find them work or find them more work. So all in all, you'd have to say that the LNPs won the first week of the campaign with a 2 percentage point swing to the government, closing the gap between the two parties, although the ALP still leads clearly with and comfortably at 55% of the two-party preferred vote to LNP's 45%. Thanks for watching and see you next week.